Hello and welcome to the Flipped Collaborate for Assignment 2 Essay Learning Modes in EDU 10004 Theories of Teaching and Learning. So we've got through our first assignment, a presentation, and now we're heading to Assignment 2. So this is my dashboard here, so you can see. So down the side here I've got all the portions of my canvas, and I've gone into assignments here. So let's just have a little quick look through here together. So we've got a word limit of 2,000 plus or minus 10%, and we've got a weighting of 50% on our essay. Please don't be overwhelmed with the weighting of our essay of 50%. We have a long time to work on this together. We've got an ELA team who really know their stuff, and they're quite familiar with this assignment, and they'd really like to help you along the way. Key to excelling in this assignment will be your planning and your research. So we do encourage you to start early and to have a topic in mind. So have your theories and learning modes in mind as you go through our weekly readings, because you really will find this much easier. And then you'll move from our key texts and learning materials and do some independent research. So let's just have a little look through here. We've got our weighting of 50%, as I said. Our due date is Monday the 4th of May, which is our week 8. And there's a little link there so you know that's exactly where you go to ask your ELA and your learning group any questions that you might have. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look at the assignment here. Okay, what's our title? Describe two different modes of learning and how they align with contemporary education theories and inform the work of teachers. So we're just going to look at the assignment details here, and I'm not going to read through all of this. This is something that you can go through. I'm just going to have a look at the main points. So this essay requires us to work through a number of stages, which are outlined in our weekly learning materials and learning group discussions during the planning and writing of the assignment, and it is helpful to use the following steps. So these aren't requirements, but this is something that our lovely learning designers have written to help us along the way. So it's going to walk us through creating an essay introduction, developing our main points, what to focus on. We're going to talk about the benefits and limitations of each theory, what it represents. Perhaps you'll touch on the theorists, but we're going to really focus on the theories themselves and the learning modes. We do encourage you, it's a little bit different from some other essays in that we encourage you to use headings. We find with such a generous word count of 2,000 words that you should find it helpful to structure your the points that you're making, and as you walk your reader through what you found out, your research and what your findings are, and then you're going to link your discussion to the practice of teaching. So there's a lot of things in there, but we're really most concerned about our criteria. So these points here, 1, 2, 3, they're all there to help you develop your essay. But remember that you will be graded on the criteria. So let's have a little look at the criteria together. This one's a little bit different to our rubric last time. So we're just going to have a little look at the pass criteria here. So in order to pass this assignment task, the requirements of all criteria must be met at a satisfactory level, and all work must be original unless correctly cited according to APA. So just remember, we are a first year unit, and we really appreciate you giving referencing and citation a good hot go. We're going to be happy with a good attempt at that. So please don't be overwhelmed with referencing and citation. Use all of the supports that we've got in our A2 Padlet and on the student portal, and just dive on in, and we'll be happy with that. So we're asking you to have an introduction. So introduce the topic and what you're going to cover. It's a little bit of a roadmap for your reader. We're also going to have a paragraph to explore each key idea. You're going to describe the learning modes and the theories. You're going to draw connections between theoretical, broader societal and educational context. I've got a little slide on that I'll help you with a little bit later on in this Flipped Collaborate. And your use of literature, correct citation, and your English language skills. So that's quite a generous rubric that we've got here. So when you're planning, when you're writing, when you're developing your essay, your points, I really encourage you to print this out and have this next to you, because this will be key, and this will be what all of our ELA team will be using to award the gradings. So let's have a little look further down here. So we go through our credit, our distinction and our high distinction, so you can familiarize yourself with that. And just here we've got our request for assignment extensions there. Okay, we're just going to head over here. Okay, so this is page 4.5 in our modules, and you'll notice that this is where we're encouraged to take our pairings from. So when we're talking about learning modes, so what is a learning mode? It's got it here. A learning mode is a component of learning constructed by different paradigms. There are many ways of defining learning, and you're going to discuss two of these. So again, our learning designers have made really lovely pairings here. You'll find that while this is not a requirement of the assignment, that these pairings really do provide you a lot of opportunity to look at the some of the benefits, some of the limitations in supporting educators and their teaching practice, and they sort of fit nicely together and work well for a flow of points for your essay. So again, you're not required to use these pairings, but you are encouraged to use these ones. So please don't forget about activity 4.5. Jump in. Your ELAs are sitting there waiting, hoping that you'll join in the discussion, and they can lead you and guide you along the way. Okay, so we've also got a student Padlet. So again, we've got lots and lots of information here. Let me head over here. Okay, so for we've got EDU 2004. This is our A2 student Padlet. I've made a different color, so hopefully it's not confusing for you. Again, right here, you're listening to our Flipped Collaborate. I'm going to put the link just there, and you'll find here's our support. So you're listening to the Flipped Collaborate now. We've got our live brainstorming Collaborate coming up soon with Kat and Nikki. And then again, we've got our last minute check-in opportunity. So this is when you've finished your assignment, everything's nicely sorted and formatted and everything like that. If you just have any last minute queries about your specific assignment, turn up, take the microphone, and our beautiful ELAs will help you out there. Remember, definitely watch the Flipped Collaborate because it means you're best prepared when you come to our live ones. Okay, I've also popped here the slides for the brainstorm session. So if you click on there, you can see them. Some students like to download them and print them out and write all over them. I'm a paper and pen sort of girl, and it just might help you to have next to you as you start to plan your assignment. And those are all your links there. Again, I've popped a lot of frequently asked questions. We were just talking about this. So which learning modes and theories can you choose? You can use anyone's. So it's not stipulated in our assignment at all. However, these ones you're highly encouraged to use those pairings. You'll find them work very nicely to develop a beautiful essay. Writing. So which weeks do we go to? Whether you focus on a theory versus a theorist. It's most definitely a theory here. Now, to make people a little bit even more happier than than we were last time, I'm hoping that our exemplar will help you. It's a little bit tricky to jump right into an essay that's 2,000 words, so I've been able to access an exemplar, so have a look on there. Please note that this can't be copied at all because it'll come up high in your similarity report. However, you might find it helpful in just seeing an example of how you might approach it. This student didn't use subheadings or headings, however, you're encouraged to. So I've just put a little note there about that. What else can I show you from over here? Let's have a little pop over here. And we've got our student portal resources. You do have a lot on there. Information on how to structure a paragraph, citation, referencing, links to our library all over again. So have a little look there. And again, help. What if you need some help? What if you have issues with timing and busyness and everything like that? They're all there. And finally, I did mention that there's one portion of our criteria that sometimes has a few questions. So let me see if I can open this for you. Okay, in our criteria it says discuss the theoretical, societal and educational context of teaching and learning. So what does that mean? That's quite a broad statement, and there are many different things that you can cover in your essay. I've just given you a couple of examples here, finding that sometimes it's hard to pinpoint exactly what that might mean. So an example of theoretical context. So there are many theories. We're learning about quite a few of them in this unit. So there are many theories that educators can align with. So which ones are appropriate and when? Which ones are appropriate for one child? Or maybe you have more than one theory that's appropriate when you're looking after the learning of a number of children. And is there a certain theory that's always best in this circumstance? Is this set or is this dynamic? For societal context, we know that we meet the needs of a wide diversity of students and families within any given community. So we have different types of multiple intelligences, different types of learning. We've been learning about how complex the learning experience actually is for all of our students, and it's so different. So you might talk about the societal context, the type of learners that you might have in your classroom, and the educational context. An example of this is that our students typically learn in a group environment. It's the Australian schooling system is largely based on a group of children and an educator. So we typically learn in a group environment, and so a student is expected to learn alongside peers, and this is a dynamic environment. So there's just a couple of points that I thought might be useful to you. So we're just going to head back to the Padlet here. So make yourselves familiar with the Padlet. Have a look through all of the Q&A questions. They're there to help you along with your ELA. So head to your Q&A thread, and I know your learning group along with your ELA would really like to help you. And all the best for A2.